All right, let's get right into it. If you're a senior leader in mining, I bet you felt this exact frustration. You've got good people, really capable managers, you've empowered them, and yet the needle just doesn't seem to move on those key operational problems. The same headaches pop up month after month. It feels like you're stuck in mud. Well, this explainer is all about why that's happening. And I'll tell you right now, it's probably not for the reason you think.
Now, this is a statement that should make you sit up and listen. Why? Because of who said it. A chief marketing officer in mining tech. When the very person whose job it is to sell you technology tells you that technology is not the answer, you've got to listen. This cuts right to the chase of what so many leaders already feel in their gut. The problem isn't the tools, it's something much, much deeper.
And look, this isn't just a gut feeling, right? The data actually proves it. A recent Bain study looked at miners worth a combined $300 billion, and they asked a really simple question. What actually improves operations the most? The answers were, well, pretty shocking. Technology? It came in dead last. So what was number one? People stuff. Getting buy-in from your team, making sure everyone understands how value really gets created. So the question isn't if people matter. We know they do. The real question is, when you have great people, why is it still so incredibly hard to get everyone pulling in the same direction?
And that leads us to what we can call the empowerment paradox. It's this bizarre, confusing situation where you feel like you've done all the right things. You've given your teams authority, you've pushed decisions down, but the whole system stays fragmented, and those big, ugly problems just don't go away. Good intentions and great people somehow just aren't cutting it.
I hear this constantly from executives. And you know what? They're right. I had a VP tell me this exact thing just the other day. My managers are empowered, and he truly believed it. From where he sits, he's handed them the keys to the kingdom. So, why is the whole operation still stuck in first gear?
Well, this gets to the absolute core of the paradox, because two things can be true at the exact same time. On one hand, yes, empowerment is real. Your managers control their budgets, they make the hiring calls, they can stop the entire job for safety. No question. But the gap is also real. The decisions that are slowly breaking the system aren't big ones. They're the dozens of tiny daily micro-decisions where one department's goals clash with another's, and guess what always wins? Local optimization. Doing what's best for your own little corner of the world.
So if this isn't a failure of empowerment, what in the world is it? This is where we need to completely shift our diagnosis. For years, we've been calling this an execution problem or a people problem. It's not. It's a clarity problem. It's a gap in decision rights.
This quote from another VP is just a massive aha moment. I mean, think about it. They spent a year and a half, 18 months, chasing what they thought was a failure to execute, pushing for more discipline, more accountability, and nothing worked. The huge breakthrough came when they realized the real problem was that nobody was clear on who had the final say when departmental goals went to war with each other.
So let's put a name to this beast, right? Let's call it the decision rights gap. What is it? It's simply the lack of clarity about who gets to make the final call when different department KPIs are in conflict. And this is the key part. At your system's main bottleneck. At the constraint. Everyone's doing their job right according to their own scorecard, but the system as a whole is choking because there's no official tiebreaker.
And the impact of closing this gap, it isn't subtle. It's not some little incremental thing. It is dramatic. One site, after struggling for over a year with volatility, got stable in just 12 weeks. 12 weeks. We're talking same people, same trucks, same shovels. The only thing that changed was clarifying this one single point of authority.
Now, this next part is maybe the most important thing to hear. If this problem sounds painfully familiar, listen closely. This is not a failure of your leadership. This is a systemic problem, a structural issue that you almost certainly inherited.
Let me just say that again really directly. You did not create this gap. This isn't some flaw your leadership team designed. It's a hidden byproduct of the way the entire industry has been set up to measure and manage itself for decades.
So where does it come from? Well, it comes from all these things we've been told are best practice. It comes from those industry benchmarks that rate every department independently in a silo. It comes from financial logic that says asset utilization is always a good thing. It's baked into our ERP systems that are brilliant at optimizing a single part, but clueless about the whole. All these things make sense in isolation, but when you put them together, they create these invisible daily wars between your teams.
Let's make this super concrete. Your mining team, they get a bonus for tons moved. Your maintenance team, they're rewarded for schedule compliance. Your processing plant, all about that recovery rate. All good things, right? Sure. But what happens when moving more tons today means blowing up the maintenance schedule, which in turn tanks the recovery rate tomorrow? Who makes that trade-off call at the bottleneck? Who has the authority? The system doesn't say. So, nobody decides, and the system just keeps swinging.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now, how the heck do we fix it? Let's talk about the path forward, the path to clarity. And the really good news here is that the solution is not some massive multi-year soul-crushing transformation project. It's about providing a very specific, very targeted kind of clarity that unlocks the talent you already have on your team.
You know, when we explained this whole concept to a former mining executive, his response wasn't just, "Oh, that's interesting." His response was, "I violently agree." Now, why such a powerful reaction? Because he had lived it. He'd spent years watching this exact dynamic play out, seeing his best teams stuck in this silent combat over metrics, but he never had a name for the root cause.
And part of why this problem festers is because it's almost impossible to talk about. Think about it. For a GM or a department head on site, trying to explain this sounds like making excuses. Hey boss, we can't hit our numbers because the KPIs are fighting each other. That just gets heard as, we're not good enough to execute. It's not psychologically safe to say, the system you're using to measure me is the very thing that's breaking the system. That is why this has to be solved from the top down.
So the solution is a surprisingly simple three-step process. First, as a leadership team, you have to get ruthlessly clear on the one primary constraint in your operation. Step 2, you have to explicitly, in writing, define who has the final decision-making authority when KPIs conflict at that specific point. And step 3, and this one is absolutely critical, you have to publicly protect that person when they make a tough call that, for the good of the whole system, puts another department's numbers in the red.
And let me be really clear about something. This is not about taking empowerment away or micromanaging your people. It's the exact opposite. This is about finally giving you and your entire team more control over the one thing you're all accountable for, delivering stable, predictable outcomes.
So I'll leave you with this one question, just one question to take back to your next leadership meeting. When KPIs conflict at the constraint, who on your team has the authority to make the call? If the answer isn't immediately and completely obvious to every single person in that room, you may have just found the real reason your very capable team is stuck.